Shalom, Kahala Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua Ba'ashim Kwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles of GMS, including the elders that came before them that taught us its truth. And shalom and salutations to all the brothers that push in word and truth and sincerity. All right, I'm the brother Yahshua. I'm back with the World War III Daily Update. And as promised yesterday, we're going to go into the chariots, right, which play an important part in World War III. All right. Now, this is a depiction of what happened at the Red Sea, at the crossing of the Red Sea. All right. So let me see. See if I can get this all together here. All right. So in the Red Sea, you had one of these. All right. It's a pillar of cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night that led the Israelites. This is Moses. This is the Red Sea. And this is the depiction of an ambush. This is the kill zone in the ambush. Okay? And this is how God operates. He sends his angels that are in these things, the chariots, right? And what did the chariots do? They defend the children of Israel. Moses was an Israelite from the tribe of Levi. And what did he do? God tapped him on the shoulder and said, "You're going to lead my people, the children of Israel, out of slavery." Okay? That's what happened. He got Pharaoh. He led the children of Israel through the kill zone to the other side. Pharaoh and his army came up in there, got into the kill zone, and then the Most High killed them. All right? Being led by this. Let's prove that real quick before we go on to swing low. All right? What is it? Pillar of cloud by day. Let's go to Exodus. Can we get it? All right. Exodus 13. Let's start at 20. All right, here we go. Start at 17. And it came to pass when Pharaoh had let the people go, let my people go, that God led them not through the way of the land of the Philistines, although that was near, for God said, "Lest peradventure the people repent when they see war, and they return to Egypt." But God led the people about through the way of the wilderness of the Red Sea, and the children of Israel went up and harnessed out of the land of Egypt. Let's see. Jump down to 20. And they took their journey from Succoth and encamped in Etham, in the edge of the wilderness, and the Lord went before them by day in a pillar of cloud to lead them the way, and at night in a pillar of fire to give them light to go by day and night. He took not away the pillar of the cloud by day, nor the pillar of fire by night from the people. What's that referring to? It's referring to this. Okay? We're going to prove that. Okay? Because this cloud, all right, we're going to study this cloud for a minute. Now let's go to this. Let's see. What am I looking for? Let's go here. Exodus 14 and 19. Let's go to 18 and see what that says. Start at 17. And behold, I will harden the hearts of the Egyptians. What does it mean to harden the heart? Heart is the Hebrew word lav, that means your mind. Okay, I'll take control of your mind, make you do what I want you to do. I will harden the heart of the Egyptians, and they shall follow them. Into what? Into that ambush. And I will get me honor upon Pharaoh. This is why God did this, so that his name would be exalted. His name is Yahweh. And upon all his host, what does the word host mean? His armies. I will get me honor upon Pharaoh and upon all his host, upon his chariots and upon his horsemen, his army. And the Egyptians shall know that I am the Lord when I have gotten me honor upon Pharaoh and upon his chariots and upon his horsemen. And the angel of God, what is the angel of God? Okay, this is the angel of God. This is the angel of God. Where's my picture at? This is the angel of God. And the angel of God, which went before the camp of Israel, removed and went behind them. And the pillar of cloud is the angel of God, went from before their face, and stood behind them. And it came between the camp of the Egyptians and the camp of Israel. And it was a cloud of darkness to them, and it gave light by night to these. Who's these? Israel. So that one came not near the other all night. This represents the Air Force. The angels of God are God's Air Force and Navy, because these things are submersible. They go right in the water. Okay, this is the army of God. Way back when, what's going on here? There's a war going on here between the children of Israel. Moses is warring against Pharaoh. Well, guess who's on Moses' side? God. God is the commander in chief, who sends his son and the angels out to jack people up. That's what he did to Pharaoh. Led him straight into this ambush. Okay? And here in the scriptures, we're seeing that go. Well, what is the pillar of cloud? Let's get it. Psalm 104. King James. These are some attributes of the Most High God, whose name is Yahweh. O bless the Lord, O my soul. O Lord my God, thou art very great. Thou art clothed with honor and majesty, who covers thyself with light as with a garment, who stretches out the heavens like a curtain, who layeth the beams of his chambers in the waters, who maketh the clouds his chariot, who walketh upon the wings of the wind. His chariot. The cloud, the pillar of cloud, is this. This is what parted the Red Sea. Why? To set up an ambush to kill Pharaoh and his army. Okay? Now, these things are going to play a very important part in World War III. Okay? All right, so how did Jesus leave the earth? Jesus' name is not Jesus, it's Yahweh Shai, but for the sake of understanding at this moment, because you don't understand the name Yahweh Shai, we'll use Jesus since we're teaching here. This is Acts 1. All right. This is when Yahweh Shai left the earth. And when he, who's he? Yahweh Shai, had spoken these things while they beheld, he was taken up. Who's he? Yahweh Shai was taken up, and a cloud received him out of their sight. And while they looked steadfastly towards heaven as he went up, behold, two angels, stood by them in white apparel, which also said, Ye men of Galilee, why stand ye gazing up into heaven? This same Yahweh Shai, which is taken up from you into heaven, shall so come, second coming, in like manner as ye have seen him go into heaven. The way you seen him leave, he got beamed up into a cloud, right? This is him right there. Right? What happened to Elijah, the prophet? He got beamed up into a cloud. What happened to Enoch. All right. What happened to Enoch? He got beamed up into a cloud. What happened to Yahweh Shai right here? The one you call Jesus. He was taken up. See, you don't even know this about the scripture. When he was resurrected, this is how he left. He was taken up, and a cloud received him out of their sight. Same thing that happened to Elijah. We got to get it? What does it say? Elijah taken what? To heaven. He was taken up into the sky. And it came to pass that they still went on and talked. Behold, there appeared a chariot of fire and horses of fire, and parted them both asunder. Elijah went up by a whirlwind into heaven, and Elisha saw it, and he cried, my father, the what? The chariot of Israel, and the horsemen thereof. Same thing happened to Yahweh Shai, right here. Okay? He was taken up, and a cloud received him out of their sight. Now let's get the second coming. How's he coming back? The angel said, hey, don't trip. What you tripping on? Behold, two men stood by them, which also said, why ye tripping on what you just saw? This same Yahushua, which is taken up from you into heaven, shall so come in like men. When he comes back during the second coming, he's coming back the same way. Let's get the second coming. Revelation 1 and 7. Behold, he cometh, the second coming, with clouds, and every eye shall see him. How? Go look at Independence Day. What came out of the clouds? The cloaking device for the chariots. All right? These things are going to play a very important part, okay, in World War III. All right? Let's get Revelation, what is it, 19? Run to it real quick. The white horse. Let's get the white horse. What is he going to do when he comes back during the second coming? And behold, Revelation 19 and 11. I saw heaven opened, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat upon him was called Yahushua, faithful and true. And in righteousness doth he judge and do what? Make war. This is what he's coming back for. His eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns. We know what that is, right? And the armies, right? And his name is called the Word of God. We know who the Word is. And the armies which were in heaven followed him upon white horses. Who is that? Who's following him upon white horses? Okay? The angels are. Okay? And out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword, lasers, that with it he should smite the nations. Okay? Jump down to 19. And I saw the beast and the kings of the earth and their armies. What were their armies? Gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse and against his armies. Wait a minute. Who does this belong to? Is this not the stealth B-1 bomber? Who does that belong to? It belongs to the kings of the earth and their armies. No? Who do these blue angels belong to? The kings of the earth and their armies. Fighting against who? Came to make war with who? And I saw the beast and the kings of the earth and their armies gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse and against his army, against the angels. War in heaven, meaning war in the sky. Where is this at? One level of heaven is the sky. Okay? Hey, war in heaven. And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his blue angels. Where's his blue angel? And his blue angel. This is the dragon. This is Michael and his angels. The angels. Okay? This guy. Revelation 12 and 7. King James. And there was war in heaven. NIV. Then war broke out in heaven. NLT. Then there was a war in heaven. ESV. Now war arose in heaven. American Standard. And there was a war in heaven. Douillet. Reams Bible. And there was a great battle in heaven. New Heart English Bible. There was war in the sky. There was war in the sky. Word English Bible. There was war in the sky. That's what level of heaven this is talking about. And here's how it's going to go down. It's already going down, even though these haven't started shooting back yet. Okay? That's what's going on. Now let's further prove that this is what's been going on. You've been singing about it and not knowing for some time. Swing low. Sweet what? He maketh the clouds his what? Swing low. Sweet chariot is an African American spiritual. No, it's an Israelite spiritual. The children of God, God's chosen people, the Israelites, not Africans. Africans come out of Noah's son Ham. Israelites come out of Noah's son Shem. They're not the same people. It'd be like trying to call a Japanese a Chinese and getting your ass whooped about it. Bruce Lee, if you call Bruce Lee a Japanese, he would have, chop you up. The song is best known. It's one of the best known Christian hymns. All right, they keep saying African American because they're lying. They know who we are. All right. Here's some lies. The song uses the theme of death. No. To carry me home, to remind the audience of the glory that awaits them in heaven. No, it's not about death. It's about save. This is about being saved. Okay, we'll prove that. All right. Now let's get closer to what they're specifically. The text refers to Old Testament account of the prophet Elijah's ascent into heaven. Elijah was alive. He wasn't dead. All right. By chariot. The prophet Elijah's ascent into heaven. How do they know this? Here's what the song is about. All right. And at the time, they didn't call them African American spirituals. They called them Negro spirituals. All right. As in Negro. Right? As in Negro. Where's Negro at? Negroes to be sold into slavery. African Americans weren't sold into slavery. That term didn't exist back then. Negroes did. It's an old Negro spiritual. Who was singing it? Not African Americans. Negroes were. Okay? Yeah, we were picked up on the continent of Africa after we migrated down there, and the Africans rounded us up and sold us to our enemies. All right, it's all in the scriptures. All right, where we at? Swing low. Let's go. Let's go further. Swing low, sweet chariot. Let's go down here. Look at this. Was composed by Wallace Willis, a Choctaw. What does that say? See how it says Choctaw freedmen are former enslaved African. No, the Choctaw are the Native Americans known as the tribe of Gad, right? The one of the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. The Native Americans are Israelites, period. Okay? Which reminded him of the Jordan River and of the. How did they know all of this? Prophet Elijah being taken into heaven by a chariot. No, it's not about the Underground Railroad. Let's read the lyrics. Okay. Swing low, sweet chariot coming for to carry me home. I looked over Jordan. What did I see? Coming for to carry me home? What? A band of angels. Wait a minute. What? Angels? Okay. Right? Carry you home. Home where? To Israel. Not to heaven. Heaven is going to start. The kingdom of heaven is going to start in the land of Israel, where the one you ignorantly call Jesus is going to sit on the throne. His name is Yahushua. He's going to sit on the throne, and the Israelites are going to be co uh, rulers, right, along with them. Let's get that. All right, where are they going to be taken? Coming for to carry me where? Home. Where's home? Isaiah 14:1. And remember, the slaves were singing this. All right. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. After they're saved, he's going to go set them where? In their own land. Where's that? Israel. Over where you call the Middle East. And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob, all Israelites. And the people shall take, what people? The Israelites shall take them, who? The other nations, and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall enslave them, take possession of them in the land of the Lord in Israel for servants, slaves, and handmaids, female slaves. And they, who's they? The Israelites shall take them captives, whose captives they were. Whose captives were we? We shall take them captives, whose captives we were. See how this reads? This is the reason for World War III. The reason for World War III amounts to the changing of the guard, slavery for some, and rulership for others. The opposite of what you see right here. Okay? And you can cry and do what you got to do, thumbs down, do what you got to do. That ain't going to stop this from happening. Okay? Let's read it again. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob, which means Israel, and will yet choose Israel, which means Jacob, and set them in their own land. After what? Okay? And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. Who oppressed us? Here's the oppression. Here's the oppression. Okay? Swing low. All right. What happened? What happened to Yahweh? They were beamed up, were they not? By the chariot. Well, here's what it means to be saved. Revelation 11 and 12. Let's start at 11. And after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from God entered into them. Who is them? The elect of Israel. All right. What's the spirit of life from God? This truth about who we are. We woke up and they stood upon their feet. And great fear fell upon who? Our enemies. You're not the Israelites. You're not the Israelites. God and Jesus are not black. And here's what happened. Right before the destruction of this beast system, Babylon the Great. And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, come up hither. And they ascended up to heaven, the sky, in a chariot, and their enemies beheld them. Same thing happened to Elijah. Same thing happened to Enoch. Same thing happened to Yahushua, whom you ignorantly called Jesus Christ. We ascended up into one of these. We got beamed up. Who? The elect of Israel. Right before what? Right before the culmination of World War III, when all the nuclear weapons hit exactly where they're supposed to hit. And the same hour was there a great earthquake. And the 10th part of the city, all 10 FEMA zones, what city? Babylon the Great city, fell in that great and in the great earthquake were slain of men, everyone who didn't get beamed up. 7 means completion. 7,000 means everybody that didn't get, who didn't ascend up to heaven in a cloud. And the remnant, those that ascended up to heaven in a cloud, were hella scared and gave glory to the God of heaven. All right? These chariots are going to perform first an ambush and then a rescue mission. They got to rescue the captives, the POWs. The angels have to perform an extraction of the POWs, right? They're still POWs. All right, we're prisoners of this great war. All right, here's what's going on. Okay, let's deal with these weapon systems. All right. Let's go to Second Ezra 13. We're already there. Yep, that's 12. Next chapter. That's Ecclesiasticus. Let's go to Second Ezra 12 or 13. 13. All right. Start at the top. And it came to pass after 7 days, I dreamed a dream by night, and lo, there arose a wind from the sea that it moved all the waves thereof. And I beheld, and lo, look, that man. What man? Yahushua, who you ignorantly called Jesus Christ. He waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. Who are the thousands of heaven? All right. The angels are the thousands of heaven. Okay. And when he turned his countenance to look, all things trembled. They were scared as hell. Right? And whensoever the voice, what's the voice? Went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth faileth when it filleth the concentrated fire. His voice is a laser. The weapon systems on these things. All right? Concentrated fire. All right? What are these things going to do? Here's World War III. And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together, remember this, gathered together, a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of heaven to do what? To fight against the angels and the one you ignorantly called Jesus Christ. To subdue the men that came out of the sea. Well, we read that in Revelation 19, did we not? Did we not? Revelation 19 and 19. And I saw the beasts and the kings of the earth and their armies that were what? Gathered together. Let's go get that. Gathered together. After this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number. Here's who was gathered together. The armies of the earth, the kings of the earth and their armies gathered together to make war against him that sat upon the horse and against his army, against Yahushua, the one you ignorantly call Jesus Christ, and the angels. And there was a war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought. And the dragon, who's the dragon? The beast and the kings of the earth and their armies. Okay? Now let's see what happens. Let's cut to the chase and find out what happens and how. Those laser beams, remember? Remember them lasers? And I beheld, but lo, he had graved himself a great mountain. Who's he? And I looked, but he, Yahushua, or the one you ignorantly call Jesus Christ, had graved himself a great, she'll be coming around the mountain and flew up upon it. What is it about these old songs that are telling you the truth? Look at this bullshit. Blocking me. Don't block me. Close. She'll be coming around the mountain, sometimes referred to, or a Christian spiritual, a Negro spiritual. I'll show you what this word means in the Bible. Known as when the chariot comes. What? The mountain. He had graved himself a great mountain, a chariot. One of these. Okay. We're going to jump down to background right here. The original song was published in Old Plantation Hymns in 1899. Well, yeah, they knew back then. It ostensibly refers to the second coming in the clouds of Hamashiach, the original angry black man, and subsequent rapture, with the she referring to the chariot, that the returning second coming, Christ is depicted as driving. Now, what did they know? What are they hiding? Oh, it's a UFO. No, nigga, you know exactly what it is. Mountain. She'll be coming around the mountain. But I beheld, and look, he had graved himself a great mountain and flew up upon it. After this, I beheld, and look, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were so afraid, and yet there's fight. They're going to be shitting on themselves, but they're going to fight anyway, because the Most High going to put the Spirit on them to fight. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand nor held sword, nor any instrument of war. Now it's going to describe the weapon systems. But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth what? His voice. And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, they all they burned. This is that laser. Super laser. Okay? But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth, which is his voice, as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests. Now this is what's going to happen to all them that were gathered together to fight. And they were all mixed together. the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, which was gathered together to fight, and burned them up every one. And burned them up every one with that laser. And burned them up every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude, nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and smell of smoke. And that's what happened to all the armies of the earth. Why? Why is God doing this? What's going on? What is all of this about? Here's World War III. I will also gather all nations and bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat. Why? And I will enter into judgment there on account of my people. What does that mean? I will also gather the armies of the world into the valley of Jehoshaphat, the Middle East. There will I judge them. Judge who? The armies of the world, the nations of the world. Okay? These guys. All right? These guys. All of them. All the armies of the world. Right? Why? Judge them why? For harming my people, my special possession, my people Israel, for what they did to my inheritance, my people Israel. I will judge them for harming my people. I will enter into judgment with them there on behalf of my people and my heritage Israel. I will plead with them. Okay? What happened? You've got to plead your case in the courtroom. Enter into judgment. Okay? For harming my people Israel. What do you mean? What do you mean? What? Look at that. Look at that. They're happy. Picnic. Let's pick a nigga, string his ass up. Okay? Hey, that's the thing to do. Those aren't God's people. Well, let's just say, for shits and giggles, that these are God's people and this is what was done to them. And God is mad. Let's just say that for shits and giggles. Let's just imagine that for a minute. Okay? Let's just imagine that this is what happened. Taking away the children. Okay? Slavery. Let's just imagine that. Where's my yoke of iron at? I'll get that later. Let's imagine that was the case. I will gather the armies of the world into the valley of Jehoshaphat. There will I judge them for harming my people, my special possession, for scattering my people among the nations, and for dividing up my land. They threw dice to decide which of my people would be their slaves. Slaves. Negroes. Get yoke of iron. Yoke. Where's Gad? Give me Gad. Who else got a yoke? Yep, you kept the evidence, didn't you? You kept all the evidence. He shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck. Deuteronomy 28 and 40. Go look at it. Did this happen to Africans or did it happen to the children of Israel? This didn't happen. He can't be an African. Well, he's black. Well, Chinese look just like the Japanese, but again, Bruce Lee will whoop your ass. And I know the truth hurts. I know you're mad as all hell. Because, see, here's what's going to happen to you. Let's read down. Okay? But I will bring them back from all the places to which you sold them. Slaves for sale. To be sold and let. Who did that? But I will bring them back from all the places to which you. Where's the auction at? Sold. Look at that. Sold, nigga. Sold. To which you sold them. Look at your teeth, boy. Let's look. You finna be sold out here. Okay? But I will bring them back from all the places to which you sold them, and I will pay you back for everything you have done. Well, what do you mean pay us back? The big payback. Go listen to James Brown. I'm mad. Revenge. I need some get back. I will sell your sons and daughters to the people of Judah. Who's Judah? That's Judah. What is the opposite of this? What's the opposite of this? Well, this guy being here and this guy being here. That's recompense. That's payback. All right? We read that. We read that in Isaiah. It just keeps saying the same thing over and over. You can't run. You can, oh, it doesn't mean that. Well, we're going to see. Just because what you say is what the word says, whether you understand it or not. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and yet choose Israel, you Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, set them in their own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they'll cleave to the house of Jacob. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall make slaves out of them, shall possess them. I will sell your sons and daughters to the Judites. The house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captives. Captives. Where's that one? Captives. There's no way out of it. Whose captives they were. I got to go back. Captivated. The captors. And they shall take them captives whose captives they were. Here's how the Bible works, folks. And they shall rule. Who's they? The Israelites shall rule, okay, be the kings over their oppressors. This is the reason for World War III. Period. It's laid out in the scriptures. All right? You can try to change it all you want to, but you're not going to change a damn thing. All right? Yeah, we're coming up on Jacob's trouble, but this is the end. Here's the end of the, let us hear the end of the conclusion of the whole matter. All right? The Most High's word doesn't go out void. All right? So, with that, let's get a couple of headlines. We'll go ahead and we'll close it. All right? The Spirit took this thing in the direction where it needed to go. Let's look at World War III and where we're at. Okay, they haven't declared World War III yet. Let's go here. 10 hours ago, Russia warns the terrorist threat from Afghanistan is growing. It's in the Middle East, the valley of Yehoshaphat, God's judgment. Syria says Israel, wait a minute, Russia, Afghanistan, you hear all the different names, the different countries, China, okay, 3 hours ago. Iron Dome, which is Israel, shoots down Hamas drone. China, Xi Jinping preparing for World War III in his third term. See all of them troops? All of this has to do with World War III. Let's go to Deep Journal. 20 hours, Israel and U.S. hit Iran's nuclear. Russia abandoned what? Protection of Iran. Right. For the time being. 4 hours, breaking. U.S. sends 32 F-32, or 32 F-15E jets to strike Russia. In the U.S. Congress, it says call what? To strike Russia. Call to bomb Russia in U.S. Congress. Can you see World War III coming? They're being gathered together in the valley of Yehoshaphat or Jehoshaphat. Why? For the ambush. For the ambush. Let's watch this real quick. Let's watch the fight in real time. Let's watch this in real time. Come on, devil. All right. So the chariots aren't firing back just yet. They're waiting. All right. They're dogfighting, but it's not the two-way firing range just yet. Pentagon, all right, that's your military, just declassified 3 what? Chariots of Israel videos taken by what? The dragon and his angels. Michael and his angels. The dragon and his blue. Where are the blue angels from? U.S. Navy. Okay? That's clearly talking about this. Let's watch this. There's a whole fleet of them. They were sore afraid and yet durst fight.
There's a whole fleet of them. Look on the SA. My gosh.
Scared as fuck. My gosh, we would get our ass whooped if they started firing laser beams on us. There'll be nothing left but dust and smell of smoke.
They're all going against the wind. The wind's 120 knots to the west.
Our planes can't do that. Our chariots can't do that. All right? The dragon and his angels can't do that. Satan, the devil.
Look at that thing, dude.
The mysterious flying objects remain unidentified. Well, we just explained exactly what their function is, all right, to this day. This is all the devil and deception. We know exactly what's going on, all right? And you got it on film showing us, right? Who's this? Somebody noticed that the other day. It's a slave. The declassification is meant to clear up any misconception about the. Well, wait a minute. The men of the Lord are telling you exactly what's going on. How long they've been sitting on this? Now you're going to try to control the narrative and push out a bunch of deception to try to control the narrative. Splash! They've been reporting incidents going all the way back. What does the term Foo Fighter mean? Is that just the name of a band? Let's get it. I should go to Wiki because if I go, it's going to say the name of a band. Foo Fighter. The name of a band. Look at all that. Studio album. Da 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 da. What happens when I do this? Foo Fighters, World War II. Was it 1 or 2? Foo Fighter. This article is about the aerial phenomenon. What? For the rock band, see Foo Fighters. For home-built aircraft, see all the deception? The term Foo Fighter was used by Allied aircraft pilots during World War II to describe various what? UFOs. Or mysterious aerial phenomenon seen in the skies over both the European and Pacific theater of operation. Okay? What do they know? Oh, well, we just started seeing these things. No, you didn't, by your own admission. Okay? Hey, they go all the way back to the beginning. Got Noah. We broke it down. Okay? We broke that thing down. Let's go further. Let's see. I see. What is Zechariah? Zechariah 5. Zechariah 5 and 1. Here's the function. What are they for? Then I turned and lifted up my eyes and looked, and behold, a flying roll. This is way back in Zechariah's time. Something was flying. And he said unto me, What seest thou? And I answered, I see a flying roll. The length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof is 10 cubits. And he said, then he said unto me, This is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth. For everyone that stealeth shall be cut off as on this side according to it, and everyone that sweareth falsely by his name shall be cut off as on that side according to it. And I will bring it forth, saith the Lord of hosts, and it shall enter into the house of the thief. Who's the thief? the thief, and into the house of him that sweareth falsely by my name, and it shall remain in the midst of his house, and shall consume it with the timber thereof and the stones thereof. What are we talking about? Now let's go back here. Watch this real quick. Of course, after the damn commercial. Bear with me. So, the chariots of Israel play an integral part of World War III. Okay.
It happens in 1967 at Malmstrom Air Force Base in Montana. Nick is on his way to meet a key witness to the event. Robert Salas served 7 years in the Air Force, rising to the rank of captain.
So tell me what happened.
March 24th, 1967, I and my commander, Fred Mywall, were on duty at Roy, Montana.
The men are stationed in the missile launch bunker, 60 feet below ground.
We had control of 10 nuclear missiles. The Minuteman I. Each missile had an 800 kiloton nuclear weapon.
If ordered, it's Salas's job to launch the warheads.
The nuclear missiles have everything to do with World War III. An atomic bomb is what ended World War II. Where are we now?
I was on alert status. In other words, my commander, Fred, was taking a little nap break. Sometime in the early morning hours, I get a call.
On the other end of the phone is a terrified guard stationed above the bunker.
He's screaming into the phone. He's yelling, "Sir, I'm looking at the front gate. I see this glowing red object."
A strange red object is moving like nothing the guards have ever seen before.
They were flying very fast across the sky, stopping on a dime, reversing course, making 90-degree angle turns, making no noise. These guys were very, very frightened. It was a critical situation.
As fear spreads above ground, things are about to get even more terrifying below.
I need you to wake up. I've got the
Salas wakes his commander and tells him the guard's report of a UFO above the base. Suddenly, the unthinkable happens.
The lights turned from green to red. In other words, red meaning unlaunchable.
Everything went red.
All 10 missiles were disabled, every single one of them.
So what does that mean?
It means if we were given the order and if we had to go through our launch procedures, they couldn't be launched. This was an inexplicable situation.
With the missiles down, America's nuclear shield is compromised.
What was going through your mind when all this was happening?
You know, I'm thinking we're under some sort of an attack.
As Salas and his
An attack. You're at war, buddy. Involving the nuclear missiles.
commander desperately try to get their missiles back online, they learn that a week earlier, another missile launch crew at Malmstrom Base reported seeing the same strange lights. And seconds later, their nuclear warheads also go offline.
The Angels were making it perfectly clear, look, dude, we got control over every piece of equipment that you have. Your little funny jets, your nuclear missiles, all right? No weapon formed.
all 10 of their missiles went down while a UFO was overhead. All 10 of our missiles went down. UFO was immediately over our facility.
What did you think when you found out that this had happened not once, but twice?
These were the most sophisticated weapons we had, and so it was worrying that something very unknown, very unusual, very strange could disable them.
Think you're going to fight against the Most High Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua? You're an idiot. Damn devil. Let's go back to this. Let's point out who the devil is. All right, real quick, and we'll go ahead and end it. Let's go back to Revelation 12. All right. And there was a war in heaven. All right. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels, his blue angels. Okay, and prevailed not. Who prevailed not? The dragon and his angels got that ass whooped. All right. Neither was their place found any more in heaven. They got shot out of the sky, and everything along with them. ISS, satellites, Sputnik, nigga. And the great dragon, which is one of his names, was cast out. Here's two of his names. That old serpent, the one in the garden. So we got the dragon and the serpent, called the devil. This is the devil. In there. Okay? Got the angels and the devil. Okay? And Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. The whole world. For God so loved the world. The whole world? This guy deceiveth the whole world. Okay, how did he do that? Well, these are unidentified. Lie. These are figment of your mind. Lie. They've been here. They've been controlling shit. They've been winning wars. They destroyed Pharaoh and his whole army. What the hell do you think they're going to do here? They're going to lead the armies of the world into an ambush and make quick work out of them. All right, so with that, now that you know who the devil is, who deceived the whole world, he was cast out into the earth, meaning they got shot out of the sky, and his angels were cast out with him. All right, we hope that the elect were edified, and with that, we're going to say shalom.